I hate him a bit, but only because every single time I'm with him, he loses, and every time I'm against him, he wins. So he'll go terrific because I think he's got no hope. Hello and welcome to the worldwide popular. It's global. It's everywhere. It's the biggest show in the world. It's called Burning Questions, and we've got Anthony Butt as a special guest. Now, normally, Ants, one of the things I pride myself on in the show is making people laugh and smile. You come in with a smile anyway, so it's job done. You're a happy man, aren't you?
Well, anytime I get to talk to you, Jace, it's always makes my day.
I'll tell you what gave me the what really gave me the ear is, we were trying to get your camera right, and we're asking Andy Gath now not only about the tips, not only about how to train horses, not only about tactics, but we're asking him, do you hold your phone portrait or landscape, because you've got the key to everything. You are just you're a guru, and you're the Maharaja.
Yeah, I can do it all, Jace. You know that.
I can do it all. Welcome to those boys, and welcome to you too, Skeeter. This you've already mentioned. You are challenged by the set of burning questions today.
Yes, I'm very interested to hear what Ants and Andy have to say, as well as you, Bon, because I still don't know if we will find the answers after all this, but that is what the show is all about, trying to get the answers, and hopefully we can be a little bit closer in the next 20 minutes or so.
It is getting important, because even though you and I started this platform, it seems we get all the information out of the other people, the participants. So we need them. We need you. Help us, please. And while you're helping us, maybe wear hip pocket workwear and safety. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. And you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. They've got you covered for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. First question, burning questions today with a couple of the heavy hitters, Anthony Butt and Andy Gath joining us. Go to you first, Ants. Is American Dealer the real deal? And will he bash the local senseless in the Reg Withers tomorrow night?
Oh, I think he's a pretty good horse, Jace. He had a pretty good career in New Zealand, and beat Krug a couple of times over there early in the season. And I know he won one big race, and he sort of went to Queensland and really stepped up another level. So, his run in the Derby was amazing. He had to sprint 3 times and still held them off. So, it's never easy. He's taken on some, really good horses, but no, I think he will go good.
Well, they say there's an old saying that horses aren't motor cars, but you drove him like Lewis Hamilton in that Derby, and he still kept finding. So I don't know how many of these. You tell me. Do you think any of these could have done what he did? So he's gone sub 156 long trip. It's a really good set of horses, 3-year-olds in this Reg Withers, but I'm not sure any of them could have done that.
No, it was a pretty big run. I took the approach. It was the last night of the carnival. I thought it might have been my last ride with him, so I didn't want to go down, go out wondering. So he was good, and they said he's had a little break, and his trial was good the other night. So he's obviously got the Derby coming up, so that's in the back of our minds. But he's a class horse, and they're always hard to beat.
You might be overdoing it when the horse looks back at you and says, what are you doing here? Why are you driving me like this? But anyway, he won comfortably. What are your thoughts on the Reg Withers? Is American Dealer just a class above them, Andrew?
You'd say so. As you said, none of the horses he's competing against could have done what he done in Queensland and what he's done in New Zealand. Obviously, it's a tough draw, off a mini break. But again, probably the race lacks a little bit of depth. Does drop away pretty quick. They're all nice 3-year-olds, but they're probably not up to winning the Derby. So, yeah, I think at any time the opportunity comes, Ant will be able to put him in the race, and he should be too good for him.
When I first looked at the field, Skeeter, I was like, I wanted to pot American Dealer, and we'll talk about Amazing Dream too, because I felt the same way there. But the more I looked into his resume, I'm just like, he's better than these horses. It's a great, exciting list of 3-year-olds, but Andy makes a great point. There's going to be better horses in the Derby, and American Dealer might start favourite there. So I just think he's got their measure.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think he's the real deal, Bon. And we saw that in that Queensland Carnival, didn't we? He was just ultra impressive up there. And yes, first up, but and there's no doubt he has bigger fish to fry with the Derby moving forward. But I still think he's just the class horse. And despite the bad draw, I think he can get the job done first up.
We all agree this is a beautiful start. I sent out a tweet last night. People so negative about the world, but look at us. We're united with American Dealer. What is that large grey thing behind you, Ants? Is that like an old school printer, or what are we looking at back there?
I don't know, could be.
Okay, you don't have to tell us if you don't want to. It's private stuff. Question 2 of the burning questions brought to you by the Fresh Connection. who export Australian fresh fruit to more than 35 countries, headed up by Damien Glengarry, who is the export manager and does a magnificent job. The Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries and mangoes. freshconnection.com.au. Okay, we'll start with you this time, Skeeter. Who does this is an 8-part question. Who does Dodge hand up to? Will they hand up again, whoever he hands up to? And will he even see out the 2,690-metre trip?
This is probably this was the hardest question out of the 4, I think, today, Bond, because I have absolutely no confidence. But look, I'm leaning towards Mac Dan. Second up, he's got good gate speed, and I think he might be less likely to hand up to someone else. And look, I tend to think that Jace isn't just going to hand up to the first horse on the scene or the first horse that asks the question. I think that General Dodge has enough speed to be a little bit picky and choosy with who he wants to hand up to. I think they're probably going to want to be leaders back rather than shuffled 3 back the pegs. So I'm leaning towards Mac Dan, but yeah, really, I've got absolutely no idea. And as far as will he see out the trip, I think he does have a little bit of bottom to him, as well as just being a super quick horse. So I'm not super worried. Yes, we haven't seen him at this distance before, so it's always that question mark, but I think he can.
Andy, you've pulled off some wonderful, freakish, miraculous, Herculean training feats in your time. I would have thought this would be one of the great training feats in history. Boutique trainer, 1 horse, second up from a break, Kilmore Cup. Oh, his favourite. I'm not sure he'll see the trip out. In fact, I'd lean towards the idea that he probably won't. And I think if he's going to see the trip out, he has to hand up straight away. And I've got out to play getting there first and then out to play handing up to Mac Dan. Again, without total confidence. But I don't think General Dodge can afford to do any work at all if he wants to see the long journey out second up from a break.
No, probably not. We all know how fast he is, and he's a quality horse. And, Mick's done a terrific job with the horse and probably deserves to win a big race going forward. But, yeah, I think obviously he's got enough speed to hold him, early without really bustling him. But he'll probably hand up to the first good horse there, and I think that horse will probably be Tango Tara.
Sorry, good horse.
Yeah.
That's okay. Yeah, no, okay. I thought we had a bit of a breakdown. Sometimes you have these communication difficulties on Zoom. What did you make of Tango Tara's run last up, by the way? Because obviously Nikkita and I had different opinions.
Yeah, there was only 4 horses that broke 54 there at Ballarat, and he was one of them. Again, he could probably he seems to go better when the mile rates are a lot quicker. So the harder they go, the better he goes. So he ultimately had his chance. We know that. Bulletproof Boy was too good for him, but I thought he went better than Mac Dan, but Mac Dan might improve off the run. So he's put a really good body of work together over the last 2 months, and he's very seasoned. He's seasoned in New Zealand, and he has got very good gate speed as well. But he'll be going forward, having a look for the lead anyway. What
are your thoughts and answer? And while you're answering that 8-part question, I'll give you another 6-parter. Okay, about Amazing Dream. Now, I spoke to Michael Guerin on radio today, and he said, well, Amazing Dream, he called her the Antichrist, by the way, because he just can't ever figure out when she's going to win. Obviously, she's been beaten at short odds against the mares, but then she meets the boys in top company. He said she can't park outside them and win. I know that's not a traditional style, but I tend to think with her staying credentials, she can if you need to. So I'm interested in your thoughts on that, plus the 17-parter about General Dodge.
We'll start off with Amazing Dream. Yeah, she's obviously a great mare. She's beaten the boys in some really big races on, multiple occasions now. Winning an Auckland Cup's never easy. And she did that. Then she was fantastic in Queensland in those 2 races. So, yeah, and I understand what she said. I'd actually drove him on those mares races in Brisbane, sat in the 1-1 all the way and only run 3rd. So she's one of those ones. She seems to rise to the big occasion. She's probably better when the pace is on and, she's not doing it sort of thing. But in saying that, I think she's got better and better, the last 6 months. And, I wouldn't be worried I've had to sort of park outside in the last lap sort of thing if she needed to. But she's a lovely filly to drive and a lot of, you got a lot of options with her. So, it won't be easy from the draw, and it'll just depend sort of on what happens early with the tempo. If there's an easy sort of first lap, it makes it hard for anyone back in the field. But if 2 or 3 of them mix it up early, it'll bring her into it. And
technically with General Dodge and the like.
What was that, Jace? Sorry, I must say.
You were about to go into it yourself, and I interrupted you beautifully. That's because I'm one of the best hosts in the game. But General Dodge, what do you think about tactically what's going to happen in those first 300 or 400 metres?
Oh, I think Jason's in a good spot. He's he's fast off the gate. We know that, and he'll hold the lead as long as he wants to. And so yeah, I've got sort of mixed thoughts on it. He'll probably take a trail, but sooner or later they're probably got to roll the dice and lead him up. So there's probably a race where there's not a sort of designated horse to hand up to. There's 3 or 4 there that you wouldn't mind trailing. So that'll be up to Jace. He'll work it out, and he's a good driver. And but yeah, he's in a good spot. He can pick and choose and just see what the tempo is like early and how many are coming.
Just tell us this, answer. As Nathan Purden, that is, giving you every indication that both American Dealer and Amazing Dream are 100% ready to roll first up from a break like that. They'll be very near screwed down. The big, I mean, these are big races already. The Kilmore Cup's a big race. I know there's bigger races ahead, but what we see on Friday night is 100% Amazing Dream.
Yeah, I think she's pretty close, Jay. She trialled really good the other day, and she's only a little 2 or 3 week break after Queensland, so she hadn't missed a lot of work, and she'll have that fitness sort of under her belt. So no, she's pretty ready to go, and I think American Dealer's pretty much in the same boat.
I'm ready. I'm totally prepared in my own mind for Andy Gath to make McLovin his best bet later on, because I can't, it just doesn't seem like he's going any good to me. But yeah, but normally that's when Andy says, no, he's been working really well at home and he's just going to go boom. Will Class or Fortune win the Trotters Cup for a start, and then tell us about McLovin? Because to me, he's the elephant in the room in the race, because he's he's the best horse in the race, but we haven't seen his best in a little while.
No, that's right. Yeah, he's been sort of drawing back road draws, and last out Geelong had a pretty tough run. He stuck wide for a long time in a fast lead time. I probably really don't expect him to win off 30 metres. I know how hard it is. Even though the distance is pretty long, you just up against it. There's so many good standing start horses off the front, or ahead of him, and Robbie Royale, Stress Factor, and Kai Valley Chief, all the Lil's horses. So yeah, it's just so tough off a handicap these days. I hope he can win, but I'll be surprised if he could win, to be honest.
Will you be surprised if the other 2 horses off the 30-metre handicap won?
They're probably going a little. Well, Mary Law's going better, obviously, but last time he was in a handicap, when he was handicapped in a race, he couldn't get into it. Even though he flashed home and finished 3rd, he went really good, but he not at any stage he looked like a winning chance. And Red Hot too, she's got a really good standing start form as well, but she'll probably touch below her best as well. So it's going to be difficult, but there's no doubt they're the 3 class runners. So probably the 3100 sort of brings them into it a little bit, but yeah, always, I think Fortune will come into it more than Class.
Talk to us, Ant. Are you going to drive Moldy Law conservatively, thinking we can use his speed at the end of the race, or is he actually capable in that kind of field, if you need to make 2 or 3 runs if required?
Yeah, I'll just play it by ear. These 3100 metre races really bring the Kiwi drivers into their forte, and so no,
you can go for a nap for about a minute if you want to, Ant. It's up to you. You can have a short nap if you want in the race.
Yeah, but you can't plan these races. You're just going to go by the feel and tempo and who you're following. At least with us, we're back there with a couple of nice horses, so there'll be some action mid race, that kind of thing. So I won't have any plans, and he's a type of horse. He's pretty adaptable, so you can sort of just drive him to how the race is unpanning, really.
Wouldn't it be a wonderful feeling, Skeeter, to be in Ant's position where he goes out there and just goes, yeah, it's a big race, but I've got no plans. I'll just wait and see, and I'll just dominate you. I'll death by 1,000 cuts. You'll do something, then I'll do something better, and then I'll whip around you, and I'll win the race. I've tipped Mulry Law on top, but I do think Fortune's going to play a massive role. I want to back a horse like the penny drops off the front each way more than I want to back any of those back markers. That's the most times anyone's ever said back in a sentence on Burning Questions, by the way. Over to you.
Well, that's probably why Answer's won a lot more Group 1s than you and I, Bon, because he can do that. But yeah, I tend to think that Fortune is going to be the major player in this one, and I agree. I just think it's so hard off that back mark. We saw it a few starts ago at Ballarat there when mentioned earlier, Maori Law ran 3rd. So yes, they can win. They are the class runners. Maori Law is my 2nd pick in the race, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he wins, but he's going to have to really earn it. It is tough coming from that back mark. So look, I'm a bit the same. I'm probably more inclined to go with a horse that's off the front or the 10 metres. Brownlow Prince, I thought, has been racing in really good form. So he's probably the one each way. I think if he can step and find a nice position. Last start in the Shepparton Trotters Cup, it's a pretty good form reference to be behind Aldebaran Crescent, Majestuoso and Pink Galahs. So I think he's probably the one I'm leaning towards, but it's going to be a really interesting and quite tactical race, I think.
Yeah, and he's only been in one standing start race, Brownlow Prince, but he had no luck. It was a call to crown. And he was trying to get out, and he was still bolting at the end of the race. So I think the long trip and the stand probably won't bother him. Right, question 4. The last of the burning questions is with thanks to Falvo Fruits. Specialists in table grapes since the 1960s, Michael and Josie Falvo are keeping the tradition going. And everyone loves their grapes. Keep an eye out for Falvo Fruits. You'll love them. And intriguing clash towards the end of the night between a very good 3-year-old mare and a very good 3-year-old filly and a very good 4-year-old mare, both from the Emma Stewart stable, Joanna and Techys Angel. Have you got a guide? Does Joanna's frontline draw give her the big advantage? Is Techys Angel just the better horse? You were up in the Riverina during the inaugural championships up there, and her run in the Mares Championship, 52-2 or something over the middle trip, was just mind-blowing. Is she just going to be too good? Or with that one run behind her back in the frontline draw, is Joanna the better hope?
Well, I think, you summed up pretty good. Joanna's got the draw and the run under her belt, but Techys Angel was outstanding up in, Wagga that day and just blew them away. So, it's not a bad draw. I don't think she's going to follow them through from there. And, Kate will be able to get round probably when she wants to if the pace eases. And, I've got a feeling she might just be too tough.
If one more of you says Techys Angel, I'll be changing my best bet for the night. That's for sure. Andy, particularly you. What do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, sorry, I'm going with Answer, not you. I think, being 12 months older, she's very strong. Techys Angel. See, Jace. I just think, she went terrific at Wagga when she won, and she's a quality mare. Joanna's a really good filly as well. I think that if it was over the short, obviously I'll be going with Joanna, but just the sort of middle distance suits Techys Angel a little bit better, and I'm leaning with her.
I love Techys Angel too, and I hate going against it. And you know what? I'm going to resist these great men and still tip Joanna on top. But she is outstanding, Techys Angel, and I can tell by your eyes. I know there's something in your pupils that tells me you're going with Techys Angel as well, Skeeter.
I am, Vaughn, yes. I did toss it up for a little bit, and I thought, is Joanna just going to get a really comfortable lead? And I think she will get across. But, yeah, I just think Techys Angel is the class horse. Joanna was excellent first up. I was surprised with how well she actually went first up with a big preparation ahead. But, I think she does get to the top, but like Andy said, over the middle trip, I think it brings Joanna into it, Techys Angel into it a little bit more. And that last start at Wagga was outstanding, and she's been trialling well. So I think she looks ready to go this week.
All right, so I've got 3 more corporate bookmakers. I've got Butt Bet, Gath Bet, and I've got Skeet Bet that I'll be having a little bit on Joanna with. All at a decent price because Techys Angel's going to win, apparently. Best bets on the card. We'll start with you, Skeeter. Who have you found? It's a very difficult program. You can't say Major Moth or you'll be kicked off the show. So what have you got for us?
No, I thought I'd better not do that, Bond. So I'm going with American Dealer this week. Just blown away with how well he went during the Queensland Carnival. And even though it's an even and good field of 3-year-olds, I think his class will shine through when he can get the job done.
Ants, you going with one of yours or are you going further afield?
Oh, no, I don't know too much about other people's horses, so I'll stick to what I know. But I've been driving Iconic Major lately, and his first up 2 starts ago was outstanding. Won a really good race last week. Probably just had to do a little bit much down the back to sort of get up to the leader, and they went a 27 quarter down the back, and he sort of had it won and just got collared late. So he's got a good trailing draw, and there's a bit of speed there hopefully. So if he can have the one run at them like he did 2 starts ago, he's got a lot of speed over that last 400.
I tipped him on top. I think he is flying, and I reckon they are going to go berserk early there. Assassinator's going to want to hold the lead. Karki knew he's going to be involved. Naratak, Prince Yanni. I think Iconic Major. I love it, Ants. Andy, what's your best?
I'm going with one of mine, but I'm going each way. And I know you'll laugh and fall off the screen when I say about Tango Tara. Every week.
No, because I don't give him hope, so he definitely will go well.
I'm sure he yeah, I honestly think he's some chance of finding the top, and I think if he does, he run top.
They thought you were talking so much. Feces and cut you off from burning questions, said Andy. Telstra said no more.
That's it.
You think he's a good chance? You really think he can find the top?
I think so. I think he's a perfect horse to hand up to. I think he, leaves the gate pretty good. He's racing great, and he's probably a good horse to sit on because, you can run past him.
Well, apparently maybe you can't. No, I've got no doubt. The reason, and to be honest, I don't like hating horses. I hate him a bit, but only because every single time I'm with him, he loses, and every time I'm against him, he wins. So he'll go terrific because I think he's got no hope. So, I think you win. I agree with you. My best bet on the program, I should have left this to Andy for last because we know he's a king dog. I was going to say a different word then, but my best bet on the program has just got to run. Would You Mind did the right thing by me a couple of weeks back, and now with Willie Go West coming out, don't know who he hands up to. Do you reckon Diamonds and Cash has a chance to get in the front in that race? Apparently, you get in the front in every race.
Well, we thought he might get the front last Saturday. He stuck 2 starts ago. He stuck 3 wide for the first 500. But he does leave the gate pretty good, Diamonds and Cash. So obviously, Would You Mind generally hands up and keeps drawing barrier 1 amazingly. So we'll have a crack anyway.
Have a go at Would You Mind. I like Would You Mind. I don't like to get taken. No, I like Would You Mind. He's allowed to draw one if he wants. Hey guys, this has been a lot of fun. Ants is still smiling, but that's 24 hours a day. I reckon when he goes to sleep, Ants, he's smiling in the middle. Like there's a happy dream. There's rabbits and bunnies and wonderful things going on. Appreciate your time, Ants. Well done, Andy. Good luck with Tango Tara.
Thank you.
I don't mean it. And well done, Skeet. And that's been another edition of Burning Questions. This is the most popular show going around. And if you don't know what it means, go back and watch last week's edition when Catch a Wave was back from 350 to 160 and pissed in the Gold Sovereign. Thanks for joining us on Burning Questions. We'll be back doing it again next week as we head towards the Victoria Cup Carnival, Smoking Up Sprint, and also the Vic Cup on October 9.